and Snappy's been calling some pretty cool rounds. I want to go back and watch a bot of that game later on, but right now everything is on this particular map. MIBR 1 round away from dispatching of Eternal Fire. There is so much on the line here, Vince.
And that's what is so beautiful about the Major. We have 2 streams simultaneously. Both matches mean a huge amount. Whether you're a Turkish fan, a Brazilian fan, just a fan of Counter-Strike in general, there is something here for everybody. This could be the final map, though, of this best of 3 of Eternal Fire's life in the Antwerp PGL Major. But we'll have to see if MIBR can get it done from the T side, as they'll be occupying with a whole bunch of utility, so many flashes, Molotovs, no upgraded pistols.
Here we go, though. This is what... Okay, Xantares, okay. Woody will find himself headless with barely a few seconds into the round, but Yota replies back. Xantares being hyper-aggressive. Calyx has been spotted out. Turtle grouping up, but a teammate has dropped on down, and Turtle's aware of this. He heard the footstep. This is a fast and furious round here. Turtle finding Calyx and Emor as well, but Walkskin, in the meantime, has dropped a couple with his P2K.
Oh, I feel sorry for the observers trying to spectate that round. There was just bloodshed everywhere. There's like 4 fights going on simultaneously around the map. Somehow we caught most of the kills, but Xcloud, what a shot onto Exit. He may have clutched the last round on Vertigo, but he will not be clutching the first of Nuke. That mantle will be down to Turtle. Very capable. Oh, and he's also flanked. He's going to have to drop on Woxic. Removes his head. 55 seconds left. He may not have control over the bomb, which is in an awkward position. And Xcloud is there, safeguarding it. But he sees him, spots him, tries to jump in for a bit of damage. But he himself has been put down to 11 HP. Still no control over the bomb. At this point, it's just pure mind games.
Huh. Turtle. I don't think he's been hurt there. And now, considering how much time has elapsed, Xcloud now already repositioning himself, aware of the potential flank, and he's got the read. He knows exactly where Turtle's going to be coming in from. This is just a great read coming from Xcloud, just saving his team over here. And there you have Turtle being read very, very convincingly there from Xcloud. That was a great round from MIBR with a great call to head on down to the lower bomb step. But Xcloud, he was a step ahead of MIBR that round, heading straight down towards ramp and tapping. But the tap of the round was this from Xantares, the second before the smoke starts to bloom. Then he gets a little too over-eager out wide towards outside, but Woxic able to reply back with some clean taps. That was one of the most hectic pistol rounds I've seen thus far at the Major. But Xcloud coming up clutch here at the end here, Vince. And MIBR not able to win the pistol round here. Again, reminding everyone, you can see on the top of your screens as well, MIBR winning the first map, which was Eternal Fire's map pick. And this map of Nuke is that of the Brazilians, but Eternal Fire now off to a good start. Huh.
That looks very uncomfortable.
That is very uncomfortable.
Cello, I don't advise it at home. Gonna drop down, though. Wasting a bit of time. I mean, to be fair, it's a legit tactic as well. You just stall time, hope that Eternal Fire expend a lot of the utility. This all adds up. You know, you're throwing incendiary smokes down to stop when he pushes. This is $2,000-$3,000 easily that you have to buy again in the next round. And there's no real investment coming in from MIBR. Should be a shooting gallery. It should be a pretty straightforward round. You can hear gooshes aplenty, but it's just Glocks. So you may as well just throw insults at the CTs. Although Xcloud may be offended because he's down to 1 HP. So he has to be very careful on re-engaging or re-peeking. That's an A1S as well that would fall with him. These 2 MP9s, they'd love to get in the thick of the action. The only really silver lining, I suppose, if you wanted to be very optimistic for MIBR, neither of the SMGs have picked up any of the kills, so they're not printing as much cash.
True. Xantares, in the meantime. Never mind, everyone's dead. But yeah, not able to quite get the money out of the money printing guns in the hands of Calyx and Emor. The buy is going to be coming up for MIBR right now. For Eternal Fire, trying to maybe use the close range ability of the MP9s. We might expect to see something a bit aggressive coming out here from Eternal Fire. Maybe try to go for a little bit of an aggressive lobby crunch, try and shock and awe MIBR really early here in this map on their very first buy round. AK-47s. They don't have much money here. Just got 3 kills on the pistol round, and that's about it. So the utility isn't supremely great either for MIBR. They have the AK-47s though. Smoke's getting utilized. Wall is smokes right now. Zantara's tapping away, hoping to find something, but this is all a ruse here from the side of MIBR. They're still grouped up outside towards lobby. They have posted a player outside that is Cello. And they're waiting for a play from MIBR. They were expecting this play, Vince, expecting that aggressive play from the SMGs, perhaps. But right now, MIBR giving nothing. But a minute and 10 on the clock. Calyx goes on to poke and prod, hoping to find something. And up close, that's a nice angle to play, especially because Emo is right next to him as well. And the mobility afforded by the MP9, he could potentially shred some of these AK-47s.
Yeah, when you know the other team has SMGs and a scout, lobby crunches and these kinds of plays are fairly commonplace. You're trying to take effectively control of the situation and play your weapons where they are at their most strength, ultimately. So it makes a lot of sense that MIBR sat back. Here's the problem, though, and we saw them run into the same issue a lot when it was Vertigo. They took so much time to get themselves even remotely placed in position to execute that a lot of time they just ran out of the clock and they had to go save.
I'm not sure what they're doing.
They're taking so much time. There's 25 seconds left. You can respect the weapons, but at some point, you have got to press forward. You've got to go right now, and you need to get entries on top of it. This is where the SMGs can shine as well, by the way, because some corners will not go checked. And Emor sprays down Yota. Calyx gets aggressive through on the hut. He gets punished. Now there's so many players for Xantares to pick and choose from, but he's got one, but he's not able to stop the bomb plant. The issue, though, for MIBR is they're losing all of their supporting cast members. Turtle and Woody are remaining, but 23 HP on Woody is a very real problem. Turtle is going to have to do most of the heavy lifting in this round, you would have to feel, although Turtle is going to have a bit of that alleviated as Woody catches X-Floud in the back. And now Xantares and Woxic, both very low, have got to make moves of their own. It's now up to them to make moves and try and excel into the site and accelerate, get some headshots. Woxic with one. There's not much time left. They've got to get on the site right now. And they're not going to have enough time. And they have no health anyway. MIBR execute with about 20 seconds left, lose the first player, and still win the round.
That got so uncomfortable watching MIBR just waiting it out. They didn't do anything with whatever utility they had. They had an early barrage of smokes towards outside. They left Turtle outside, just holding an angle, and they were just waiting out the utility. And as you pointed out, Vince, 20 seconds remaining, they go for the hit. It was very uncomfortable. And in fact, it felt like the SMGs and the A1 on top of Heaven would have done enough, but somehow they're able to clutch it out, especially Woody as well, from the position, from the CT Vent's position, able to find a kill. And he was a player who was low on health. And then Turtle, at the end, patiently waiting for a player to show himself from Heaven, and able to clutch it out in the end. That being said, though, MIBR will still have, Eternal Fire will still have more than enough money to go for a full-fledged buy, and Cello will find himself with his life forfeit. He will be taken down through the smoke, yet to get off the Marcus Cello, so his woes will continue, but MIBR have managed to sneak their way in towards a lower bomb set, and right now, for Eternal Fire, there is no one towards lower, no one towards secret. They didn't have anyone to its garage for, to listen for any footsteps and whatnot. So right now, their option is just go for this retake play towards a lower bomb set. And that is something which MIBR could opt to, could try and exploit. But first to enter the site, they need to open the doors, they need to break open the glasses. And that's going to be the tell for MIBR, for Eternal Fire, to drop on down and start this retake.
But the problem is they have no forward players to pivot off. There's no foundation to rotate off, so even when you hear control room window get popped, you try and vent dive, there's players there. You see X-Cloud tries to get through on ramp, there's a molly to greet him. There's no one on the site that they can even pivot into. So bare minimum here, MIBR are going to get a post plan, and when you consider they've got rifles and a MAC-10 and a crossfire on top of it with 4 healthy players left alive, this is looking a little bit dark for Eternal Fire. They only have one flashbang to play with, so they have to go for these audacious wide swings, and Turtle's going to punish. A 1-for-1 trade is pretty good for Eternal Fire, though, as they maintain their player advantage, and it's gone from bad to worse now on MIBR as they do successfully retake the site. But you could see inroads and ways in which this round could completely backfire.
I felt there was a little bit of a mistake for MIBR because they had control of vents and they completely relinquished it, allowing the CTs to drop down into the vents and make their way towards Decon. And sure, the 2 CTs who came out from Decon, they did fall to Turtle, but it allowed enough of a distraction for the other 3 members to come on down ramp and get that retake. So MIBR, yeah, I mean, they find an empty bomb set, but I would like them to have some presence towards events because they had that control, keep a player posted there, at least cut off one avenue of rotation, of that retake rotation for Eternal Fire, so you can completely concentrate towards ramp. So a couple of things which could have should have would have gone the way of MIBR, but still Eternal Fire though. Looked a little dicey, but they get it done. And now for MIBR, sure, they get the bomb down, allowing them to at least eke out a buy in the form of the AK-47, but a CC on the attacking side from Cello. He finds two, and Turtle chimes in with a frag of his own. How he's got those 2 kills, I will never know.
Oh, Eternal Fire, you've got to hold the site better than that. I'm sure from Cello's perspective, that was outrageous with the CZ. You're telling me he got 2 kills in 1 magazine just by running in blind?
On a CZ?
Right? That's absolutely absurd. Unless he's literally just flicked to 2 heads instantly, in which case you say, fair enough, mate, you're just better. But I don't see that being likely. And even if it is, you've got weapons, you've got utility, use it. You can see there's still an incendiary, there's 2 smokes, there's a grenade. And I'd imagine if you looked over on A site, there's probably a healthy dosage of grenades just lying around the floor unless MIBR have picked them up. Eternal Fire just seemed like they were completely lost with the idea that, hold on, MIBR's economy might be trash. If it's trash, what does that mean? An A rush is possible.
Yep, that is definitely one of the most likely outcomes when you just have the pistols, and the fact that Eternal Fire was just not quite ready for that play. And kudos to MIBR. That was like a sequel to the Fast and Furious franchise. Here we go. First kill, great stuff. Oh, that is just filth. That is just absolute filth from Cello.
Fair enough, mate.
I mean, yeah, what can he say?
You're just good at the game, aren't you, really?
You're just good at shooting people, you know? That's what your Kinder said. Sometimes you win the deal, sometimes you don't. Sometimes when you win them, you win the round. And that's what's happened here for MIBR. Now, for Eternal Fire, they still have enough money to eke out a reasonably solid buy. They had a couple of guns there saved as well. The AK-47, the M4A1. But the remaining members, Calyx with a 5.7, Emo, has got an MP9, so the inferior weaponry playing up close and personal towards the HUD position. But MIBR, they are somehow going to find their way towards a lower bomb site, but there is still X-Cloud. He sprays and he deals quite a lot of damage, but he will fall. But Walksik, he knows how low they are, and Cello will survive on 17 HP. It's absolute pandemonium. 2 versus 2. Xantares has dropped down towards the vents. And it's all on Cello. 17 HP, 1 versus 2.
He's heard both players. He knows one's double doors, and he heard the other in vent, but I think that threw him off. It was like almost a sensory overload. Like, oh, I can hear both of them. Where do I aim? And in doing so, he kind of did neither. Unfortunate positioning in the end. But what a chaotic round that was. Blinken, you'd have missed probably like 5 kills. It was absolute nuts. Gameplay. It won't yield the round for the Brazilians. But it's at great cost to Eternal Fire. Although they take a 4-2 lead, that was effectively a mixed match of weaponry, and now the main course comes up on the side of the Brazilians. They've got an AWP, they've got 4 rifles alongside it, and plenty of utility. They've got 3 mollies, more than enough for a set play. We haven't really seen MIBR, apart from the pistol round, try and utilize outside control and get around the back and wrap around. And maybe this is the moment where they can just go for that. Xantares gets picked off through the smoke, and that is going to make Eternal Fire's prospects of holding secret that much more difficult.
Cello, like a man possessed, just running on down, dodging the bullets, channeling his inner Neo. 8 HP for him. Barely alive, but still very deadly. And one of the heavy hitters on the side of Eternal Fire has been put down into the ground early into this round. Xantares, you can see over there, even though he's dead, 100 ADR already, Vince, 6 rounds in. He has been finding crazy impact, but it's also great to see X-Cloud kind of come alive, right? He was comparatively a little quiet, being the B defender on Vertigo, but he has been quite instrumental, especially in the pistol round being won by Eternal Fire. Right now, how do they adapt to this? They have 2 players towards lower. This is a bit of a switch from MIBR. Sorry, from Eternal Fire. Earlier we saw Vince like they were just going for the retake play towards the lower bomb side. This time to switch things around, and that could potentially catch MIBR off guard despite having the man advantage. But that means no eyes towards ramp. Turtle inside of vents. They're going to be pouncing towards the upper bomb site. Molotov's getting deployed, flashes are good, Walksik misses his shot, leaving Emor all by his lonesome in the lower bomb site, and he is going to find one. That's a huge kill to find. Woody will find Walksik. Emor doing his very best to stay alive, but eventually he'll fall.
2v3, 13 seconds to play with. The bomb still yet to be planted. That underarm grenade going to do a lot of damage, but neither of the players down there in the form of Yota or Woody were low. So they're battered and bruised, but still alive. X-Cloud may very well execute exit from behind. Successfully pulls the trigger. but still 2 more threats to deal with. And Calyx didn't really peek over from heaven to have a look below him. He doesn't know both players are back-to-back. That grenade, though, could finish them off. Oh, Yota survives on 4 HP. He's so fortunate to live. The flash is in, but the call will come through. 1 bullet anywhere on Yota, and he's a dead man. But he's trying to play the time. Down he goes. Is there enough time now? With the kit, there should be. I think he's just about snuck this one home. It's going to be so close, but it's going to go the way of the Turks again. Eternal Fire. Get it done at the cost of 4 lives.
That came down to the very last second, Vince. The amount of utility being dunked onto the 2 Ts on the bomb side, they were in such an uncomfortable position, and yet it comes down to the final second. Eternal Fire, somehow they're able to clinch these rounds. MIBR getting a bit of attack time out here. A little unfortunate there. I do believe his exit, who was towards the T lobby, and he just was wrapping around towards Squeaky. He was so convinced the rotation wasn't going to be taking place from Hut. He was so convinced it was going to be either coming in from main or was going to be from the Heaven's position that he just completely ignored it and just had its back facing the radio room, and he just got taken down, making that retake much more viable for the side of Eternal Fire. But still, get the bomb down. It's a bit of a half buy here, Vince. Cello down to 1400. They got AK-47 pistols for the majority of the players. Don't really see any utility, so if they're going to try and inflict any damage or maybe even win this round, they're going to have to rely purely on their individual prowess with the weaponry. Eternal Fire, they got everything to work with. Emor even with the MP9. Almost finding the kill onto Xantares as Cello out in the open, taking the duel, but he will fall. Now, fortunately, Turtle has armor to work with, so he can still wield that AK-47 and at least maybe make Eternal Fire wield, bleed a little bit.
That really is the only option available to them at this point, is to inflict as much damage economically as they possibly can. Cello and his AK have gone the way of the Dodo. And now Emor and Xantares will pick off the stragglers. Yota may have a deagle by his side and ramp control, but the bomb has spilled out. I don't think CTs have confirmation, though, that that is a fact. It's over on the T side of the map. So they may not have had eyes on this. I'm not sure if anyone peeked this far across. Thank you very much, Observer, for showing us that. So that may have a compounded effect for MIBR to play a little bit more passively, to not charge out, and give any gaps for Yota to come in, because as far as they're concerned, he may have the bomb, and they don't want to concede a bomb plant and let that economy build up just that little bit more. He's now been spotted, though, from the AWP-wielding Woxic down on the B side, who's trying to just play possum, waste as much time as possible for Emor to come in alongside him. Nice shooting from Yota. Unfortunate not to get any kills out of this, though he does get one right in the dying embers. How he survived this long, I will never understand. This guy must be made of iron. And finally, Calyx will smelt him down and put him in one of his magazines for future use. 6-2 the score. MIBR without a bomb plant, they can still squeak out a bye, but there's going to be a couple players that are feeling a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, Cello's going to be a little low because he did go for that bit of investment. But apart from that, the majority of them should be able to eke out a pretty solid buy. Might even see an AWP come out to play here if they do want to go for it. Eternal Fire right now, you should be feeling reasonably, slightly happy with the way things have panned out thus far. Utility being lobbed in here from MIBR. Breaking open the Squeaky. MIBR just trying, hoping to find something in the smoke. Eternal Fire, though, they're pretty comfortable. Wrapping up a few bullets, keeping MIBR pinned down. I would like to see a little bit more presence from MIBR towards outside. As you pointed out, Vince, like we haven't really seen too much of outside presence for them, and Xantares is the guy who's playing outside. And as long as he has eyes towards the yard and knows there's no pressure there, he can easily provide information.
Was that a miss smoke?
I don't think so. I think it's just a Molotov to prevent them from pushing in towards the smoke.
Because they smoke secret as well.
No, there we go. It's a bit of a delayed one. It's Xantares. Okay. A lunatic just runs out and finds exit, but he will be traded now. If that trade gonna come and hurt them is the question. Even though he finds one, losing a member for his team is not exactly ideal. That's gonna force Woxic down towards the lower bomb site where he is right now, the sole defender. Op train in the position of Secret, so now at least they still have control of Secret, allowing the remaining members of his teammates to head up towards the upper bomb site where X-Floud, he finds the timing and catches Cello.
Yoda's already got a forward position just next to the vents, though. May catch someone, I don't know where, but the bomb's down. No matter what they do on the A side, the bomb is in such a horrible spot. X-Floud has been unweeded from Turtle, though. It's at the cost of 25 HP. Amor has to do better from that spot. Everything was based around him getting one frag. There was 7 seconds to go. That would have been the bomb spilled down. And although a headshot connects onto Yota, it's just not good enough. And the Brazilians, crowbar, brute force their way into a round, which when you look at the positions of where Eternal Fire was sat with the time that was left, should never be winning that round.
I know what sort of a turtle he is. That's a snapping turtle. He had no bit, like you said, Vince. Like, sure, he gets the first one, the second kill, fantastic. The third one on Emor, he should have been dead to rights. Somehow, rips his head off his shoulders. 13-6 for Turtle. And his team combined to have 14. He has been phenomenal here on the T side. And still very early. There's 9 rounds being played thus far. And Turtle, he's showing why he is in this team. A bit of a quieter start thus far for Yota. We saw how fantastic he was in Vertigo, on the CD side especially. Maybe he's kind of a CD specialist, right? Maybe it's still being pretty effective. 5 kills for him. Exit has been comparatively very quiet, as you do have the game resuming here. The buy is going to be coming in for Eternal Fire. However, they are starting to scrape at the bottom of the barrel. AWP for Woxic, 3 M4A1s, and the 5-7 for Calyx here. If MIBR are able to take this round away for Eternal Fire, it could be an eco here, but Zantaris looking to take matters into his own hands, and he will indeed do so. Down to 22 HP, but he will find Cello. But okay, Turtle, the guy, he doesn't even need vision, Vince. What was that on Emor?
Just pure game sense, pure hours in the game, knows the lineup, takes the shots and gets the reward for his troubles. 14 kills now in just 9 rounds. Moving through to what he'll hope is a happy climax come the end of this one. He has been phenomenal. He has very much been the Yota of Nuke, picking up the slack, picking up the mantle. But Eternal Fire are still in with a shot. Zantaris may be low from his early incursions outside, but his teammates are healthy, one of which is Woxic watching the ramp with his AWP. 50 seconds to play with, doesn't take the shot for the first player, assuming that it is a bait, and the flash will allow them safe passage. He respects this, just backs away slightly. Another flash, has no backup. Woxic will have to do this alone, and I do like the idea and the decision to back out of there and not give his life away for free. Zantaris is making flanking maneuvers outside, however, in amongst all of this, and he's getting a lot of information. But more importantly, if MIBR don't pull the trigger and get onto this site soon, he's going to have impact on top of it. Calyx stuck in the hut, not required, because X-Floud comes in for 2. Zantaris' position is spotted, and he is put down in his grave, but the rest of his teammates on the side of MIBR are not able to take the site and make it theirs. Eternal Fire pick up their 7th.
What a round from X-Cloud. 13-3. We speak about Turtle being massive for his team. X-Cloud was magnificent in that hole. He was pretty much all by his lonesome on the bomb side, and the Flames using the T's own Molotov against them. You couldn't really spot him on top of the Flames and the soot on top of the Molotov, and then he was just patiently waiting, lying in wait, finds both the kills, and then in the end, finishing it off with a nice little triple. That's going to force MIBR to once again have to work with the pistols here. And Zantaris, he's been good for at least 1 kill, seemingly every round towards its outside area. He's going to go trying to snipe away with an M4. Doesn't really have any backup. I'm not necessarily a very big fan of how aggressive he's been in this outside position, where he finds one and immediately gets traded, or he just got... I'm going to shut up.
That shot was disgusting. Yeah, it's against an eco, but
that was so sick. That was so sick from Xantares.
That's the Xantares that people have known and loved for the better part of 3 or 4 or 5 years even. When he first burst on the scene, he was known as just this mechanically ridiculous player that performed really well online, but when it came to LANs, never quite shone the same. I think he's turned that around now. I think he's proven himself a bit of a LAN beast when he's called upon, and obviously we have to jinx him. We talk about him and he has his head caved in from Exit's Deagle, but the damage has already been done surely. They line up, Woxic takes down one. They nearly actually lined up for a collateral shot there, but Yota and Exit are able to plunder their way down into Secret, or at least Yota is. Exit's just lagging behind a little bit, and Yota does have the bomb, taking hefty damage in the process, but one digs X-Cloud? Okay. How is that even possible? And considering this is a post-plant now, one of which is low, there was a way forward for Yota to have some serious impact. Even a bomb plant out of that round, all things considered, is pretty huge, and 2 kills on top of it.
That got a little scary. Woxic was down to 2 points of health as well, mind you. Eternal Fire, and we'll get their 8th. It was, okay. They will get their 8th, I repeat. But yeah, MIBR making them sweat a little bit, making them suffer a couple of casualties, and despite the lead being 8-3, you can see the economy of Eternal Fire isn't exactly looking supremely comfortable, right? You can see Emor, down to sub 1,000, X-Cloud as well, Calyx at $50 as well. So MIBR, a couple of good rounds coming out from them right now, and they could just break the economy. And even though they can't get the lead in this half, 6 rounds on the T side, for example, maybe potentially even 7 if you're being extremely optimistic for the Brazilians. Very much within the realms of possibility here. Once more, they're going to be deploying the wall of smokes towards outside. Xantares is going to go poking and prodding is the question. Emor waiting patiently next to the vent, but they're going to completely avoid him. And it is going to be Calyx to find one, though. Emor is still waiting around the corner. He needs to find a kill here, but he will get traded immediately. And in a blink of an eye, everyone falls for Eternal Fire. Woxic left wondering how it all went wrong. Although that being said, Exit is so very low in health. Woody is down to 46 points of health as well. So Woxic, this is within the realms of possibility, Vince, but does he go for the save looking at the money?
Well, he is the man to make the call. As the IGL, Wood is likely to die unless the smoke comes out afterwards. I'm surprised if you throw in the Molotov, you need to check it for at least a second to see if the player leaves. Pulling the smoke out right afterwards seems like a bit of a strange decision to me. But regardless, Woxic's about to walk into Yota, completely unbeknownst to him. Maybe anticipating that if a player's on 100 HP, they may take an extra second to peek. So maybe, like, to play devil's advocate, that's why he pulled the smoke out. And plus the fact there was so little time on the clock as well in terms of the bomb detonating. So, fair enough, but still, like, should he have just saved?
At that point, yeah, I really feel like he should have just saved. Maybe there was a little bit of comms coming in from his teammates, and a couple of them were really low. So and they were kind of low, in fact. So maybe hoping to find a couple of kills and pull off another miraculous clutch. But because of that, Vince, was that a miss by Xantares?
Uh-oh.
They're going to go for it.
Well, looks like it could be a force.
Yep, it definitely is a force right now. Now, I don't know if it's predicated of the fact that Xantares went for that, or misbought, or he just went for the call. Because he's the first one to go for the FAMAS buy, and everyone's like, well, screw it, let's go for it. Round number 13. 3 remains to be played in this half. MIBR, they have successfully, almost virtually broken the economy. And in fact, you might, depending on your school of thought, you can even say they have broken the economy, because it's a FAMAS, 2 5.7s, an MP9, a solitary, well, good gun, so to speak, in quotes, is that off in the hands of Woxic. But here we go, fast play coming into the upper bombs that we've seen this only a couple of times here. Okay, Exit, that's your teammate there, son. There's no one in the upper bomb set, and that is such a fantastic call coming from MIBR. They find an empty bomb site, and if I MIBR, do you go for the save right now? Because you haven't lost any members. Or do you try and go for the retake? And it looks like the call is for the save indeed, Vince. And I think that is going to be the right call indeed. One of the unicorn rounds coming out here, especially in a map like Nuke, where the bomb gets planted and the T's are going to win it with no one dying in the server, no casualties. But MIBR, they get their 5th. Great call from MIBR there.
Yeah, excellent call, all things considered. And keep in mind as well, this was preordained. They knew this. They had a Mac 10. They purchased a Mac 10, even though they had more than enough funds on multiple players to get an extra AK-47. So this was by design. This was preordained, and it's had the required and requested outcome. That being said, though, because Eternal Fire have saved all of their weapons, they're good to just go again. They're going to be maybe coming in with a similar kind of mentality. What I'm curious with is with MIBR upgrading their Mac 10 to an AK-47, do we see something a little bit faster pace? And I think it just completely caught Eternal Fire off because for the most part, over the duration of both of these maps, Blair, MIBR have played like a pretty slow, steady, stagnant kind of T side. It's been methodical, and they are going to go in again hard. Exit, though, walks in by himself, but he gets punished, and now the cavalry arrives. Exit and Turtle decide this site is theirs. And as they plant a flag into the A site, they fully plundered it, they fully pillaged it, and now they want to watch it raise to the ground. And I don't think Eternal Fire are going to fight too hard to reclaim what was once theirs.
Yeah, you can see they were trying to work with the weaponry they had from the previous round. And they still have that op in hand to Woxic. Now, they can still eke out a pretty decent buy here later on. Xantares can drop a rifle, maybe even drop his FAMAS towards Calyx. And XCloud could drop one for Emor, but right now, MIBR. We said it earlier, Vince. You know, a little bit of like a, I don't know, like a jump, a little bit of pep in their step in the past few rounds. It's been much more faster, much more convincing, much more committed. XCloud trying to be a little cheeky there, but he will be taken down. And there we go. They're back. They are back.
All right, I understood some of that one.
Okay.
Can't repeat it. Let's just say he's amped. He's hyped.
He's hyped, yeah,
he's happy
there we
to
go.
be here. He's happy to be alive.
I mean, when we're, you know, sometimes even when we're sitting down, some of the after parties in the bar, we also like to yell a bit, Vince. It's totally fine. Watch, especially when you're watching a game of Newcastle.
Oh my god. Yep, that's true. Up until recently, we've been all right, but MIBR 3 rounds in a row, going to get aggressive. Turtle wants to pick up the pace, but Xantares and Calyx, they've seen this too many times, and they have the perfect answer. Yota, though, through the smoke, through the door, takes Xantares and runs away with him for the final time in this half. But even with that exchange and the revenge kill coming to the forefront, MIBR find themselves a player behind. XCloud has to vacate the premises. And now MIBR, as the new landlord, has evicted him from his home. Back to the B site, he will fall. And there are more CTs here laid in wait, one of which is Woxic. That's the bomb that's been put down on the ground, and that puts this into such a tumultuous position for MIBR now. Just to retrieve the bomb is a huge deal, let alone somehow clutch out from this point. And Woody, on only 4 kills, having a bit of a slow best-of-3 series so far, could make amends if he was to pull off what would end up being one of the plays of the entire tournament if he clutched this. He has no real utility other than a molly and a flash, so no HE he can toss to the back of the site. And obviously the other downside on that one, as soon as he throws this molly, they know roughly where he is. So now his days are numbered. The bullseye is painted on his back. And as he comes round, he does connect a very quick shot to Woxic, turns it round, then nullifies XCloud, but he's about to get flanked if he's not careful. Tech9, no idea how that didn't back the kill, but Emor comes in, bodyguards his IGL, and gets them across the finish line to a 9-6 half.
Nice attempt there. But in the end, great hole coming out. I like the attempt from MIBR. You know, they're like, all right, this is a winning formula. There's fast upper hits. Let's do it again, right? And it all started when we had that round, that opening with the CZ, getting a couple of kills early on from Jello. So in the end, unfortunately, it doesn't bear any fruit. But still, 6 rounds here on the T side of Nuke. You're feeling pretty happy. It's your map pick. You're leading by 1 map as well. The question mark here for all the Eternal Fire fans around the world is, Vince, have they done enough here? Have they got enough rounds on the CD side? Enough of a buffer to work with as they try and close this one out and take us to the deciding map, which will be on Dust 2?
My question is, if Yote is a CT-sided player, Are we going to see the same Yoda as Vertigo? If we do, that could be a determining factor. Turtle has done more than enough, but now he needs the rest of his teammates to awaken from their slumber and to help him out. Eternal Fire, though, are coming outside, but simultaneously also occupying the ramp lobby area. There's no smoke's been deployed so far, so this would be a dry peak. With a player up in heaven with the USP, this could get messy real quick. Xantares, though, on that pick, forces him away for a few extra seconds. Yoda behind the vents will not be able to help Woody out. He's mainly just keeping an eye out, a bird's eye view of the outside position. And now Emor's moving in through on the hut with two of his teammates. Julie's rattling off some fire from Turtle. Needs to be careful. He's actually got so much support structure around him, though, but Yota somehow doesn't get anything done from that position. Fortunately, though, Exit is going above and beyond, and he has some feedback from Exit and Cello as they lock it down. Yoda can breathe a sigh of relief and say a big thank you to his teammates, because how he got no kills from that vent area is unbelievable.
Exit might not necessarily be the big fragger for this team, but it looks like it's crunch time. That's when he seemed to deliver. We saw the way he closed out Vertigo as well in the 1v3, and that round was all on Exit. Because Yoda completely fluffed it. Like, that should have been like 2 kills. No one was looking his direction. Vince even runs out of bullets. But Exit shutting it down to the upper bomb set as MIBR. They win the pistol. Of course, the force will be coming in. Eternal Fire is going to be pistols all around. Woody blinded is going to be saved by Yota as they attempt to make their way in towards the fence. But amongst all the chaos, they are taking so much damage. However, the bomb is crossed on through, but they don't have the utility to cross onto the bomb site. Already a player lying in wait. Never mind, Woxic. He's going to punch in the numbers, but Cello's going to find him in the smoke, leaving Calyx alone in a 1 versus 5. And he might be able to sneak on into smoke, providing him some cover.
I'm not saying it's doable, but there is maybe a small slither of a chance, especially that defusel's coming through the full 10 seconds. No kit with it, but Calyx isn't going to peek. He's hoping and praying it's a fake, but he's just found out firsthand it won't be. However, I was going to say, if he doesn't get a push from Woody, he would have been able to hold on to that Tech 9 and the Kevlar, and that could have at least maybe squeaked out a hero AK or two. With that bomb plant, it's not enough to get them a full purchase, but they have some options in terms of half buying or even fully investing here. So they're going to buy down to like $1,000 on a couple of players, and this gives them Mac 10, some Tech 9s, a decent healthy dosage of weaponry.
Yeah, could be another upper pop coming in. For MIBR, though, it's going to be yet another round with the weapons they had from the prior one. Again, they didn't lose a single player, so the MP9 is still very much in play. The smoke's going to be deployed towards outside, but it's all a ruse, Vince. It's all a ruse. It's going to try and keep a couple of the players' attention focused towards outside, while the remaining members slowly creep back towards the lobby. Once again, it's going to be the hit towards the upper bomb site, and timing is everything. Turtle's going to smoke off the entrance of Squeak. Molotov's raiding in. Now they know it's going to be an upper hit once more. They come charging up through the flames. Emor, like a firewalker, finding one. He's on the site, but still alive. Never mind. Yota will strike.
Woxic and Calyx have their work cut out for them, and now it's down to Tech 9, and that's not going to bode very well. MIBR, get it done, and only lose 1 player in the process. But that was the appetizer. Now comes the main course. They have to deal with a fully bought up Eternal Fire. The only player that may be dishing a little bit less into this round is Antares, who had 3.7k, which is just enough for the AK-47 and some Kevlar. So he's lacking a bit of utility. The rest of the team, though, is very healthy indeed. This is a bonus round, though. 2 MP9s, money brimming to the full, except for Exit. If MIBR can pick this round up and get it done convincingly, not only can they pick up the weapons from the corpse of Eternal Fire, but they'll be on a fast track to a vast lead. And they've got the first pick as well. Yoda comes out swinging. He's definitely turned it up on this second half. He's already up to 14 frags. Now, Xfloud in the hut was thinking about maybe going for a peek, but thought better of that. Eternal Fire on the back foot one more time. And they don't really have any real estate either, Blair. It's not like they've got any outside control. They haven't got down into ramp yet. They are literally stuck around T-spawn, only just starting to emerge outside, and they have a couple players in lobby.
Yota's position here is pointed out because they have no eyes. Oh, it's all about timing. Calyx, though, aware of the possibility. Yota. Somehow Calyx has managed to sneak his way in, but it still needs to cross on over. Smokes will be deployed now by Eternal Fire. 48 seconds still on the clock. A lot of time to work with here. And right now, it's going to come down to Yoda to find information. You can see the smoke. It's really not going to obscure his vision. Now he knows where one player is, but the remaining members slowly creeping on up. Still, this MP9 in hands of Turtle up close and personal could completely ruin Eternal Fire's day.
They could. Just shy of 30 seconds. Turtle, this is tailor-made for these kind of angles, especially when time is dwindling away. The Calyx gets one. It will only be one. There's some damage to Xflow, but more importantly, Zentares bolsters up the aggression. And that battering ram has now found its target onto the A site. Cello maneuvers his way into Hut. May get an exit frag. There's one. Needs Yota to strike hard. Is waiting for Yota to have a bit of impact, that he's coming in from the main side. Zentares is relocated. Perfect cross-set placement, but Cello removes him. Instantly takes his head off. And now Xflow is stuck with his back quite literally to the wall, and two players pushing him down. MIBR and their bonus have survived with two players. And there's the screams we were looking for. The passion is back.
The war cry. What a round from Cello, Vince. What a round. Firstly, he's able to somehow find a perfect time to sneak into HUD, gets the first kill. Zentares, as you pointed out, that crosser placement was absolute perfection. And we're talking about Zentares. And Cello's just completely deletes him, shift deletes him from the server. What a round. Because firstly, MIBR get the opening pick. Eternal Fire, they really have nothing to work with. They go for that upper execute, and they win all the duels. They do whatever they needed to do to get the bomb plan. They have the man advantage, and MIBR, they just say, yeah, no, not happening. We're still going to win the round. That is so huge for the Brazilians. 10-9 now. It was 9-6 as we enter the second half, and MIBR have strung 4 in a row together. Now for Eternal Fire, though, they have the loss bonus, max loss bonus, plus they get the bomb down. So they will still have a bye, but they are yet to get around. And that is going to be weighing heavily on the shoulders over here. They have all the utility to work with right now. Once again, we're going to be setting up for the outside smoke. It's going to be one player. That is Calyx making his way towards outside. And once more, it's going to come down to Yota. He's going to be defending here. It's going to smoke off the entrance of Secret. I like that. It's a little bit of a cheeky one-way afforded for him to try and spot someone, try and find someone crossing over from red. But also looking at the smoke, if you're Eternal Fire, you're aware, you're cognizant of the fact that that smoke is for this very purpose.
Oh, precisely. And we've seen the smoke down a couple of times already, but not really have any impact as of yet. A lot of damage to Zentares, could count himself lucky. Yota is going to draw out a HE, a Molotov, just to deal with his position. And they're having full focus over on Secret. They have smoked off main, now making moves in. Woody does even more damage. They're limping towards the outside now. Two players so low in the form of Calyx and Zentares, and he can scratch Zentares, and he can scratch Calyx as he puts 2 more notches on his belt. But Cello has found himself Xflow. Woody continues to go from strength to strength. He's picked up yet another one. He's on for the ace.
Emor, though, they're going to be grouping up with Woxic. They really need to regroup real quickly. 41 seconds, a bit of a wide off angle here being held by Yota. It's going to time the peak to perfection, and unfortunately, Woxic too far behind to trade. And what Woody started, it looks like Yoda is going to finish this one off. And look at Yoda immediately evacuating the premises. He's not going to give even an opportunity for Woxic to try and find a duel. For Woxic, flashbang, AK-47, 100 HP, but no time. He's got the bomb at 15 seconds. He's just going to have to just sit in the ramp room and just simmer. And MIBR, they have locked this one down. I want to point your attention to the money of MIBR. Yota, 7,000. Cellos, sure he died, 10K, 11K. Exit Turtle in the final member as well, all around the $4,000, $5,000 mark, and that is with the weaponry they already possess. They are not just starting to string these rounds together, Vince, they're starting to string them together convincingly. They're building up the economy, and they're really building up this base where they can try and just close this one out. Still a number of rounds to go. Still the lead, just a couple. But the fact that Eternal Fire have not been able to crack this defense thus far in the second half is starting to be worrying if you're a Turkish fan.
And MIBR go up in flames in the best possible way, but Woxic not losing any health. Entries onto the CT King, Yota. He's onto 16 frags, but he will be adding no more to that mark. Turtle, though, the audacity. Moves over the corpse of his teammate to push through and gets the rewards. Zentares goes down. He sees no more players. So it stands to reason either it's a fast ramp pit or it's outside. and they're already making moves outside. They know exactly what's coming up. Look how fast MIBR rotated and reacted to this threat. Spraying through the smoke, Turtle picks up another one. Bit of damage inflicted to xCloud and Woxic, and Exit is here. He is laid in wait, anticipating that this play comes to fruition. One headshot in, and Turtle down the vents. That is a masterclass from MIBR on how to find information, but more importantly, how to react to it.
That was, I think, the best round we've seen from MIBR thus far. That was played to perfection. And even at the end, when they drop on down, just a commitment to holding onto that angle, Turtle dropping in from vents, just shutting it down. Turtle has been incredible. Absolutely incredible this entire game. And not just the T side, mind you, out of CD side as well. He was a guy kind of leading the charge initially when MIBR were able to scrap a couple of rounds here and there together. Again, gotta bear still in mind though, that was kind of like the half buy coming in from Eternal Fire, but Woody, he just spraying down Emor through the fire and flames. Zantaris is going to drop on down, but he's going to be caught limping, and he will be taken down. That's a bomb dropped as well, Vince. They have the upper bomb side, but the bomb's lower, and Exit is still looking to farm these frags. xCloud left alone in a 1 versus 5. With a minute and 22 seconds on the clock, MIBR have come alive. They are on fire, and they're looking to close this one out.
The unbeaten CT Fortress continues to pick up the pace. After this round, assuming that xCloud doesn't clutch a 1 versus 5.
Can happen.
It can. Stranger things have happened. Would effectively be like the royal flush of Counter-Strike though. And instead, he just had a pair. Unfortunately, that will not beat MIBR this time around. That is 7 rounds in a row on their CT side. Money accruing nicely. Fantastic reactions when it comes to rotations. They seem to always be a step ahead of their Turkish counterparts. It just seems to me as well, in that previous round, a bit of desperation crept in, Blair. We saw a couple players vent dive, a couple players pushing outside.
Yep.
The ideas were there, but they were disjointed.
They were absolutely disjointed. And that was also because of how disruptive MIBR are being over here. Eternal Fire, right? They're trying the best, trying to get out towards upper bomb site. And then Zantaris, he just sneaks his way through, and he's like, all right, I finally made it on 4 points of health through the flames, but gets absolutely destroyed. The bomb is down, and then even then, it's still a 3v5, still a chance for them to get a couple of kills to recover it, but then Exit just shuts it down from the CT vent. Total 26 and 12. And MIBR have thus far been flawless on the CD side. 7 back-to-back-to-back-to-back-to-back. And Eternal Fire yet to find one.
What's also really scary here is in 7 rounds, they've only got 2 plants.
Yeah.
So it's not even like it's been close rounds. Most of them have been pretty lopsided. MIBR now getting outside quickly behind the red container. No. A play we haven't seen yet. Jonah with 2 through the smoke. That is just a kick straight to the plums of Eternal Fire, who are trying to get some kind of momentum outside, and it completely stops and repels the push. It's only Calyx that's limped downstairs.
And that information as well as one towards outside, sorry, one towards Secret, that's Calyx and a Molotov being a dead giveaway, and of course xCloud getting the kill on towards Yota. So MIBR being proactive finds Woxic. That should be the tell, actually. I think they should have the information. Looking at where Woxic was present. Firstly, that was an unnecessary peek, in my opinion, from Turtle, but he's feeling it. And now they know where the final 2 players are. One was towards outside, one was towards lower. And although at A4, A1 has been picked up by xCloud, and although he's got the bomb, this is going to require a gargantuan, a Herculean effort from him. He's all the way towards upper, towards the lobby. He snaked his way back. And Calyx is making a little bit of noise to try and keep the attention of MIBR towards the lower bomb side. But Exit, he times the peak to perfection. And MIBR round 14 coming up in the next few seconds.
Yeah, the other problem is that Calyx faked the squeaky doors downstairs, but Cello was just sat there watching it. He's like, yep, I just saw him fake it, guys.
Yep.
You're not fooling me at all. So they just stayed in position. Although Calyx looks like he may be able to retrieve and take out an AK-47 from the round, the fact of the matter is that's just not good enough anymore. You've got to start winning rounds. You have yet to pick up a single T round on Nuke. This is going to be 8 unanswered rounds. The curse continues on Eternal Fire. And that AK is not even guaranteed. And it will be taken away and stripped away from MIBR. Turtle moves on to 28 kills.
A little fortunate that Calyx died right before the time expired, so he will get the bonus money. So once again, yeah, you hit the nail right in the head, Vince, with a sledgehammer. Yeah, you'll have the money, you'll have the weaponry. You don't have the rounds. MIBR have put on a masterclass of a CD side here. Yota, this is the first time he's been this aggressive towards the outside area, finding a couple, Turtle catching Woxic as well off guard. And they're starting to feel so almost nigh immortal at times, right? Even though when having such massive player advantages, they're just walking in at will, getting kills, and they're like, guys, we're just better right now. We're just feeling better. And that knife's much better than the one I have.
Yeah, that's worth a pretty penny. I think there's quite a lot of expensive.
That's also nicer than the one I have.
Is that a Ruby M9? Yeah, that's no joke.
No, is that a Ruby? No, that's a Crimson Web.
Oh, is it a Crimson Web?
That's a Crimson Web.
Oh, my boomer eyes. That's still expensive, mind you, especially depending on the float of it.
I got a Boreal Forest gut knife.
I got a butterfly black laminate, mate.
All right. Stop flexing at me, Vince.
Flex. Get flex.
I got flexed out there. But Machine did lend me his knife, which is a really nice skeleton one, Case Harden. Anyway, we'll get back to knives later on. Yota, once again playing aggressive. Calyx doesn't spot. He doesn't spot him. The smoke obscures his vision, and they're going to walk on past.
Oh, no.
Oh, this could be absolutely brutal. Woxic, he still checks. Woxic checks.
Woody, though, he's called it. Woody knows this. They could line up from this. Could be multiple kills, but they go 1-for-1.
Woxic's that one guy who clears every single angle, no matter even his teammates have walked on past. That saved Eternal Fire from disaster. That potentially might have saved them from MIBR getting the map and match point in this very round. But still, we've seen MIBR, even when it comes to these man disadvantageous positions, somehow come out on top. And we can see now Turtle slowly making his way. He's been seen. Woxic saw him. Couple of bullets in his direction, down to 60 HP as the remaining members slowly inched away up to an upper bomb site with a crossfire. It's lying in wait, Vince, but exit will fall. But Shallow replies back with a trade, but it's all down to Turtle, and he gets nothing done. Finally, Eternal Fire, they break the streak. They find one. The question is, can they find more? Because I still can't believe, unless, I mean, this just feels like a flash in the pan, considering how convincing the MIBR rounds have been on the CD side.
Yeah, as we said before, that was by the thinnest of margins. If Woxic doesn't check his angle, 2 or 3 people die. Woody nearly had a triple spray down, and then Turtle tanked someone down to like 8 HP. They had multiple duels that went slightly against them. So well played, Eternal Fire. You got yourself on the board. You stopped the flames on MIBR. But now you have to douse your own. It can't be a one and done. If it's a one and done, this could be the map. This could be your tournament life on the line. Antwerp Major maybe coming to an abrupt end for the Turkish team if they can't convert from this point and they find themselves 2 players behind. They've got utility, they've got firepower, but they don't have all 5 members. And they haven't really got any part of control on the map either. They do spot a brief glimpse of Cello. Molly down onto elbow will allow them safe passage, at least into ramp. But that's only one small moving part of the bigger picture, the machinery that they've been getting caught in time and time again has been wielded by the Brazilians. And now Cello downstairs is just basically waiting an off angle. He's waiting to call for the rest of his team to rotate.
There's still an opportunity here for Eternal Fire. We had the flank coming in the form of Calyx. They're just waiting patiently, and Yoda's getting a little over-eager. The timing on that peak, the Yoda able to find X-Flout, but at least he's able to get a kill before he falls. And now Calyx, there we go. That was a flank. 3v2 right now. Molotov going to be lobbed in. Turtle's feet's been spotted by Calyx. They can get the bomb down here. And there we go, bomb getting planted. Woxic and Calyx, they need this clutch, Vince.
This is everything. Eternal Fire may not get a better chance to bring themselves out of the fire and back into the fight. Calyx has the angle for Turtle, but Turtle's been so good today, it may not be good enough. Calyx gets caught in 2 mines, goes back in again, 1-for-1 trade. There's still enough time on the clock here for Exit to get back in and clutch this round out. Flash will proceed the peak, and he does have a smoke, and he also has a kit as well. But he has no idea where Woxic currently resides, and he's took too long. Woxic, even if he misses the shot, should still be good to stop this. Trades out to the M4, full defusal comes in, and there we have it. Woxic and Eternal Fire live to fight another day by the skin of their teeth.
Great calling, great round from from the side of Eternal Fire there, even though they were man down, Vince, they waited patiently. And the fact that MIBR were kind of turtled up on the upper bomb side, they had no eyes. They gave up ramp, which is fair enough. You have 2 players playing with the lower bomb side, but that allows Calyx to cross all the way from outside from Yard, come in from Secret, and then even though MIBR aggressed back towards ramp, they weren't expecting the timing from Calyx. A small little hole in that defense from the side of MIBR, despite it being the man advantage, and Eternal Fire are able to exploit it. A much needed round. That looked like it was done, and it came down to the final dying seconds of the round as well. Somehow sticking the bomb. And by the way, if Woxic hadn't switched over to the M4A1, if he had his pistol out, for example, that could have gone the way of MIBR there. But Eternal Fire, the flame sputtering, but not quite snuffed out yet. 14-11. Signs of life. And MIBR, they still have money. They still have money for days. Turtle. So all they bought up, still have $3,900 to work with. He can probably drop a weapon in the direction of exit. Woody can buy for himself. Woody can buy for a couple of players as well. So money is not a problem right now for MIBR, but they're also cognizant of the fact that, Vince, the lead they have is tenuous. 3 rounds can easily dissipate. And if Eternal Fire are able to win the following round, break the economy, all of a sudden, it will be, or potentially could be, Eternal Fire tying things up. A tactical timeout getting called here by Eternal Fire. That's the final one, Vince. That's the final time they have a time to kind of take a breather, talk to the coach, get a little bit of input, and figure out how they want to play the final few rounds here of what could be the final map, their final map in their run here at the Antwerp Major.
Everything currently on the line for these 2 teams. MIBR at least have the cushion of having won the first map. They have that in their back pocket. That can't be stripped away from them. It can't be taken away. Eternal Fire have yet to secure their own. That clutch, that ability to plant the bomb and have the clarity and chaos from Woxic to clutch out could get them back in this. It's a tentative lead from MIBR, but still a lead nonetheless. And Eternal Fire, lest you forget, have been very poor and very unsuccessful on their T-half. They would have to get more rounds in the upcoming 3 or 4 than they've picked up in the entirety of the half so far. And with a small gap in the smoke, Woxic is looking to exploit this and expunge the presence of Cello on ramp. But Cello, intelligently, will not be peeking it.
Cello completely messed up a couple of his nades there, but at least he doesn't get punished for it. They're going to be going for the boost. They haven't gone for this at all. This entire half. Woody needs to be careful. He's going to be caught out of position. Xantares will find him. Are they going to clear him? Yes, they will. And Cello, good for just one. Xantares with a 1-2 wombo combo. And that's the lower bomb site. Open for business. Yota quickly making a little bit of haste, though. He's found himself right behind the double doors. As Xantares, 3K for him. He's taking matters into his own hands.
That's the bomb. The bomb's been spilled down, though. Someone's going to have to go and replenish that and pick it up. Retrieve the bomb, get that onto the side. Spray is good from Exit. Suddenly this becomes very doable from MIBR's perspective. Exit's position may be compromised, but Calyx has been battered and bruised in his exchange. Molly towards Shadow, Flash is there to counteract. It's still going to be tagging Woxic down, who misses his shot, gets punished for it, and now Exit can clutch this. 1 bullet will seal the deal, and Exit is able to clutch it out and give MIBR 4 match points.
Clutch is his middle name, and the number of times Exit has bailed MIBR from what seems like a seemingly unwinnable round. I've lost track. The guy is just, he seems to be born for the clutch, Vince. And this was after Xantares pulled off some phenomenal fragging. But Exit playing this one to perfection. And unfortunate for Calyx, even though he goes for the duel, he was so very low after winning the duel early on. 4 map and match points for MIBR to go 2-2, and for Eternal Fire, look what they have to work with, Vince. 2 Deagles, I was about to say, but now it's down to 1. Tech 9 left, a Mac 10, the Galil, 1 by 1, they start to fall, the dreams start to dissipate into the ether, and MIBR 3 rounds away from making it to trying to somehow close this one out, and Yota fittingly might be the one to finish it off.
It's Cello that puts the final nail in the coffin, and Torres is the final to fall. The Turkish team has been eliminated from the Antwerp Major, and MIBR go 2-2. But as we discussed before, Blair, it's celebrations right now, but there are some very good teams in that 2-2 bracket that they still could be playing against.
It's not over yet. It is absolutely not over yet. You say the teams, I'll name you the teams. Forza, Astralis,
Liquid,
Imperial. Imagine an Imperial